Yeah, that and I know I think I said that kind of confusing on the text. We'll use your phone potentially. I'll guide you into how to, like, what to do in a selfie video,
Okay.
perhaps, without getting into too much detail about the ads that we're going to run. Um, I would like almost a longer style video of you sharing your experience, that we might put on a couple of places, but then a shorter style video that's more of an ad, like a 45-second to a minute type video
Hmm.
that's more of an ad. Then people, if they want to, if they click the link underneath that video, they would go over to a page where we will have the longer story too. So
Yeah.
that gives you a little bit of a background as to why there's a couple of different things we'll probably do.
Okay.
So I love your tattoo, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
I do.
Just a phase.
Just a phase. Hey, I got my own phase.
Yeah. I
So,
have one on my wrist too. Yep.
yep, yep. Hey, that's cool too. What does that mean to you on your wrist?
It's like a 143. So it's
Yeah,
just like I love you. And
yeah. I love it. Cool.
okay, I'm gonna open it up from my laptop. Open it
Okay.
right.
I'm gonna find something to prop this up on a second here. I'm in the back room at my boutique right now, so
Do you have
don't
you have a
don't
separate?
mind Nikki Mannequin behind me.
Oh God.
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a boutique too. That's been my longest running business.
Mm-hmm.
This is my baby boutique, and then I have a couple of marketing
Hold on. Let
businesses.
me log off from my.
Perfect.
There we go.
There. Hey, hey. Okay. So I think if you have something that you can elevate, I think you're gonna like having that up angle a little bit. Just speaking girl to girl, and then tip. There you go. Yeah, I love it. Okay, wonderful. And so basically, I'm just going to ask you some questions. And then, if you don't mind, kind of reframing the question back again, as if you are just telling the answer. For example, if I say, where did you grow up? Then, if you could start by saying, I grew up, like that, instead of just saying the name of the city. Does that make sense? Yeah, because I'll just basically cut myself out. And I want to do um, little sound check here too. Make sure you come across nicely. Actually, just to be sure we have good audio, could you take your phone and do you have like a voice memo app on it? Do you have an iPhone? Yeah. Can you turn on voice memo and just have that set off to the side? And it'll capture your audio, your voice as well. And then you can just text that to me, and then we're for sure good on the audio.
Okay.
Okay. It's on?
Yeah.
It's on? Okay, perfect. Okay. So let's do a little bit of introductory kind of thing. So I'm going to use that question. Like, just tell me a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, um, just your kind of background to start off.
Okay. So my name is Penelope. Igarashi now, and I grew up in Dallas. Moved around a little bit to Plano, Royce City. Now I live in Denton. Officer, Dallas, Texas. So I started when I was really young. I started when I was 17, so it was college.
Okay. And share a little bit about, is there like a specific story from your growing up years that made you really want to be a police officer, or how did you kind of get led? And because I believe it's a calling, I really do. So, can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Hmm.
Yeah, so I was interested in becoming a police officer because my dad did it for longer than I've been alive. It's not anything he's ever wanted me to do. Of course, he wanted me to be a doctor, lawyer, something else. But I was kind of rebellious as a teen, so I kind of like went off the path a little bit. Put me in the Explorer program, which is a program that you do to kind of teach you what they do, teach you scenarios and stuff. So I was kind of more interested in that. Um, when I went to college for a while, I didn't really find like a path that I wanted to take. Nothing that really interested me that much. So my dad was like, "Well, instead of breaking your back every day at whatever retail store you're working, why don't you just hire on and make a little bit better money for yourself?" So that's what I did. I got enough college and I started in the police department. I was one of the youngest ones there. I wasn't even old enough to buy my own bullets when I graduated. Couldn't drink, but I was, dealing with people who were drunk. Um, out here in a world full of adults, so it's fun. It's fun.
That's amazing. Um, okay, hold on a second. You said something, and I had another question. Um, but you got me. That's really crazy how you, yes, you were couldn't even drink yourself, but you were handling those scenarios. That's pretty amazing. Um, okay, hold on. Let me just think of my question. It was a good one. Um, oh, I got it. Yes, thank you. Okay. Can you describe, your first day on the job? And maybe go past if there was like some, preliminary things you had to do or be in the office for a while or whatever, but your real like true day out. Mm-hmm.
So my first day on the field was very adrenaline rush, exciting. Um, I was nervous. Everybody already knew who I was because of my dad. I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing because I hadn't had my own reputation. I was following rules. So I think I had definitely a harder time than my other classmates trying to get my own name out there, trying to prove myself because I was the youngest, I was a female, and my dad was already there. So they definitely gave me a harder time. I had to prove myself more. But I think my first day was exciting because anything that came out was just like, what are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? And I'm sure my trainer was like, calm down, take it slow. It's nothing, but it's definitely an adrenaline. I don't think it stops. It's exciting. It's not 9 to 5 people. I never really had a desire to work in an office or restricted to a boss telling you what to do, how to do your own. I have a lot of free thought here, so it's weird, but it's fun and it's exciting. Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Okay. Um, can you tell if any scenario comes to mind about one particular person that you were able to help, or maybe a scenario where somebody ended up really being a blessing to others, or anything that comes to mind in the job that was kind of an unexpected surprise of of your role?
Yeah, I mean, I think I definitely want for children. So, stuff all over. Parents and kids do it's not good. They're like, so I know that we had a call where the mother, she was involved with a guy who to drugs and they were starting their own thing in their apartment and they kind of started a fire while the baby was asleep. So we got the baby out and the baby was kind of quiet but wasn't as nervous as like a child would be without their mom, kind of just like nonchalant and small. So I went to a McDonald's, I got them like a little happy meal, just the little things that make them happy, like little toys. Like, excited, they're so innocent, you know, they want to their parents might not like you or, you know, agree with what you do and you wear, you know, they don't know it's what you do. But I always love it like so I try to give them something back to
Love it. I love it. And I'm, of course, I'm being quiet right now, so my voice doesn't get in there. So, but I'm right there with you. That's fabulous. I mean, it's a sad scenario, beyond sad, but I'm very thankful that there are people like you and people that work directly with social workers and, you know, all those people on the front lines. It's much needed. So, talk a little bit about, and I didn't hear, I don't think the full story, but in your area especially, there's been, and maybe it'll come back to me, maybe I did hear about it. Um, in your area especially, there's been some conflict. There's been just different things that you as a police officer are having to take on with stigmas or different things against police officers and that kind of role, which maybe if you talk with your dad, maybe he didn't have as much of that. I don't know. Maybe he did. But is there anything around that that you can talk without getting into too much detail about, you know, I guess what I'm saying is if you just talk about that there is that side to things, that you have a very public position and people can really weigh in on your role so much more than, let's say, the accountant down the street, right? Um, and so being in the public eye sometimes is a tall order. And talk a little bit about that, how that can affect you, or what your view on that is.
yeah, for sure. I mean, being in the public eye is really hard, especially at my age, because my generation is all about social media. You know, their views are very different than mine because I see it all the time. And I think my dad, his generation is very different. You know, they didn't have cameras, they didn't have cell phones, you know, a quick button to share a video, maybe the part that you would see, but might have not been the whole story. You know, of course, like any profession, that but it's harder for me because um, it's so publicized now and so um, so media driven that I try not to get myself involved in you know, things but I don't like reading comments. I don't like saying anything because you know once I'm done with my shifts and I take it off, I'm just like a normal you know 20-something-year-old person. I like to go out to the neighborhood and I like to you know hang out with people. So I think it was really hard for me when I first became a police officer because a lot of my friends used to like off that, even knowing who I was. So I lost a lot of friends. I might have lost a lot of people. It's unfortunate, you know, I try to tell people there's two sides to every story. You know, you can't believe everything people tell you because they have a goal in mind too. So it's definitely different. I think that this judged by one person's action might not like mine from on. So, you know, I might not agree with it. I don't really know what to say something because I just kind of go to work and somebody calls me names or thinks you're this or that. I'm sorry, you know that whole. You know, that's just
Perfect. I love that. I love that. Um, I think if there's any other questions before, I'm going to ask you a little bit about your experience with Vicky, who's just a doll. Um,
I
yeah,
never really helped me with my dress either. If I could remember, she was great. My daughter.
yeah, she attracts good people because she puts that out there, and she's real too. Like sometimes I'm in my today I don't have anything going on me because jumped out of bed really late and just had to run to my first appointment, so that was fabulous. But she shows up sometimes and she'll just be like, "Yeah, let's be real. I'm in my pajamas right now. Let's do this meeting," and she just is awesome. Yeah, yep. Um, okay. Um, maybe do you have, so basically her offer or her special is for people who are in public service. So she, it'll be police officers, military, like direct family of people who serve, um, and that kind of thing. Do you have anything along those lines to share about, like, kind of what it means to you to be a public servant? Anything that you've kind of has come to you as you've been doing this for 7 years now? Um, Maybe start off by saying, like, in the past 7 years, because I'd like for people to see that because you are young, but I want them to know that you've got some time in you. You don't just have, like, 6 months. Um, Anything that comes to your mind about that, about the role in serving the public? What comes to mind?
Okay, yeah, so like in the past 7 years, doing this job, it's really nice when anybody, gives any kind of service or discount to us. So, just casually talking with Vicky, she asks, "Oh, what do you do? What is it up to?" A lot of the times I hesitate to let people know. I just don't want to be treated. You want to feel like a bride. You want to feel like, a woman that day. You don't want to, judge her. Yes, to questions. But she didn't do that at all. She, we're very grateful that she thought, it was crazy that a lot of places they don't offer those discounts and especially to us. We're extremely grateful because we're not rich. We don't make a lot of money. Like people may or may not think. Like we definitely don't expect it anywhere we go. But anything that anybody offers like that is extremely grateful because it kind of lets us know like there's still people out there that are grateful for what you do. They still like she didn't have to do that. It's her business. No one expects it. So we're my whole family.
You're just nailing this. It's wonderful. I think honestly, I've got everything that I need from this part. Now let me think about if there's anything I could have you do um, on your phone. I'm kind of picturing what I would piece out of this as the second video. So let me just think a second. Um, yeah, okay, so I think maybe if you can pause your audio recording on your phone, and if you take your phone and do selfie style, so it can be vertical, just right up like this, and if you just say, um, start off with saying, when was your wedding? Was it a year ago?
It was January 12th.
Oh, it just was.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, so if you just want to say, um, I'm a newlywed. I just got married this past January. I worked with Vicky to pick out the perfect dress for me, which was a really fun, wonderful day. I dress in uniform every day. I'm a police officer, which I'm honored to to play that role. But on the day of my wedding, I really felt like a radiant bride, and that's it. Something along those lines. You don't have to say it exactly like that, but just that concept. And then people will hear, "Oh, she's a police officer," and the words that we'll put up top too will kind of tie in then and make sense with it. So whether you want to do that with me watching so I can help guide you, or if you're more comfortable, if you want to just go off into a little room right now and then you can come back and play it for me, however you feel more comfortable. I just want to do this with you so that I could see it and I could give you a little guidance if needed so that you wouldn't feel like you had to do more work later, basically. Yeah.
want me to put my name or Vicky's name in it, or just
And you can say I worked with Vicky. And then even if you can say at Leanne's Bridal if you want to. Um, and I know that you worked independently with another person there, but I think that they'll understand that what you mean working with her is you worked at her business, you know, that kind of thing. And that other person might come and go a little bit too. So, you know, saying that you worked with the owner, I think is appropriate. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
it's kind of hard.
It. Yeah. I always go like up higher than I think I even need to. Lighting. Do you want to turn the other way? Mm-hmm.
I'll get closer to the window.
Sure.
Allie, do you want me to just text it to you?
Yeah. Go ahead and text it to me quick. I couldn't hear a single word, so
Oh, really?
yeah.
I'll
If you thought that I could, and you were like, oh, like thinking about me, no.
give me your number.
Oh, my number 320-894-7752.
Just let me know.
I I got it. Let's see.
Hi, I'm newlywed, and I got married in January. I want my dress with Penelope's bridal.
Lighting
I've
is on
been
point.
functions and
That's beautiful.
I wear uniform every day, so finding my dream dress with you was great. It made me feel peaceful and radiant on my day, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience.
Perfection. Like honestly, that's perfect. Um, One of the cool things that we've realized with this kind of marketing when you're doing testimonial and all of that is there's so many different parts to the puzzle. So we'll put something up in the words up top where it talks about you a little bit. Maybe I'll even pull a quote out of our interview and put that as the beginning. And so people get a glimpse from the words, they get a glimpse from you and your visual, even just how you are, just the way you're moving in this selfie. I know I dig deep into this kind of thing, but you're very approachable and kind in the video. Can you hear me still? Oops, I think I lost you. Must have frozen. If you can hear me, I can't hear you anymore. That's all right. That's all right. I think we got everything. So, of course, me, I like kept talking for a while without noticing you were frozen. That's just me. Um, what I was telling you is that there are so many pieces to the puzzle to put together a good, visual ad and everything. So the people that see it will be pulling things from the words that we put on top, and I might even pull a quote from your story and that kind of thing. And then the video itself, you're very warm, and just even the way you move just a little bit. There's just a lot of pieces to it that is just going to work together just wonderfully. So, great job. So I'm telling you, I appreciate it very much. You're doing this for me. Um, she's just become a close friend of ours too, and so we really appreciate it. Appreciate the time. So this will be on her Facebook page, and she might even put the clip of you on her Instagram, and then we'll just share it with people who are newly engaged. So, and then specifically the offer that we'll put on it will be if you are a service person, that there's a special offer that you can take advantage of at Leanne's. Our hope is that we'll have people, commenting and things under that Facebook post talking about people of their life who've made an impact, and create conversation underneath it too. So that's what Vicki really wants. Is she wants people to be maybe taking a friend of theirs who is active or not active military, or police officer, or I think she even does if it even wraps into some people in the medical field who are first responders and that kind of thing. So she's she's just got a great heart about it, and so that's where it'll go. I'm sure she'll let you know when it's up too. Yeah, fantastic. Well, I'll let you go then, and I'm sure. Yeah, I bet I'll talk to you again later. Can you send and text me the audio clip then too from that from your app? Okay, perfect, wonderful. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day. Okay, bye bye. You better go on a date. You look great. You should let them know. Oh, and P.S. The other thing I was going to tell you is that you have mermaid hair. You do. It looks like you're flowing in the water, but you're not.